Tweetik and the Hurricane. This is a story about a small bird named Tweetik. His curiosity to know more about hurricanes brought him to an unbelievable adventure. Tweetik knew how dangerous a hurricane could be. He and the other birds were busy around the nests, making sure they can withstand the strong wind. Although Tweetik couldn't help to notice a big commotion around the nearest supermarket. He wondered, why do people do what they do? Bread was gone. Even bottles of water were nowhere in sight. This is strange, he thought for a moment. Why do people worry about water? Doesn't their hurricane bring a lot of rain, which may lead to flooding? This is definitely enough water for birds. Trying to make some sense of it all, he followed his friend, the meteorologist, a very thoughtful man who installed a nice bird feeder in his yard. Tweetik knew that he also does research on hurricanes. Following him, Tweetik was so preoccupied he didn't even notice how he got into the hurricane research plane. When the engine started, he realized it was too late to escape. It's not easy to be a bird inside of the airplane. Tweetik hid under the cockpit and soon learned that hurricane hunters are going to fly into the eye of the hurricane. Unbelievable! How can they do this, and why? He thought quietly, covering his eyes. Meanwhile, the airplane started to shake and tipped sharply from one side to another. The pilot announced an extreme turbulence. The scientists were all buckled up and stared at their screens. Tweetik was so scared he couldn't stay in one place, but nobody seemed to care about him. Then, a strange thing happened. The meteorologist exclaimed, "We flew into the eye of the hurricane!" At that moment, the plane stopped shaking and it was very quiet. Tweetik got to the window, hoping to leap out, but he was absolutely stunned to see a huge white mountain overboard the plane. Wow, it looks like the North Pole, he thought in disbelief. The full moon was shining up, and White Mountain gradually started to turn to silver. Here and there he could see zigzags of lightning. It was a very fascinating sight. The scientists call these white mountains of clouds the eye walls of our hurricane. The airplane made circles around the eye of the hurricane, which was the size of a soccer stadium, surrounded with huge white clouds, eye walls that host the storm's strongest winds. Apparently, scientists knew that at the center of strong tropical cyclones, in his eye, the weather is mostly calm. Hurricane hunters fly into the eye of the storm to help predict hurricanes. They make measurements of wind speed, cyclone energy, and its direction. Then, they send this data to scientists who can build computer models for storm prediction. Tweetik was very curious how hurricane hunters collected meteorological data, and then something unexpected happened. As soon as scientists made a small opening on the floor of the aircraft to send a measuring device to the nearest eye wall, Tweetik immediately flew out in the open space. Nobody even realized what happened. As soon as Tweetik flew in the eye, strong wind caught him and dragged him with a crazy speed. Tweetik tried hard to wave his wings. He was very brave and he never gave up. Finally, the wind died down and they landed on a beautiful cornfield. Tweetik was so tired he didn't even realize where he was. Hurricane wind brought him to a different country. He was welcome there, but he couldn't stay. He knew his friends and parents would worry about him. Tweetik wanted to come home and to tell them about his extraordinary adventure.